All right, everybody. Kevin Jackson live here. Have no clue how many people will see this, but I decided this morning when I got up, I was going to try to see if we can get all of our systems set up because we're going to go into 2021 with a whole new attitude. I mean, we've already had an attitude of, kick butt, wake up every day and fight for the truth, fight the lies, which means most of the time we're fighting leftists, liberals, Democrats, plutopians, plurocrats, theocrats, whatever, crats, aka rats. So as I was prepping for my shows, my radio show, I've got a media hit later today. I'm not doing Fox News anymore. We call them Fox Snooze. And I had a meeting with my marketing team and people like that. I decided, you know what? Let me try this stuff out because, as I said, gloves off, gloves off. Social media in YouTube kicked me off, 4 years ago? I don't know how many people we had, but I got very frustrated at that time and said, why would you kick me off? We were doing nothing. I'm a sarcastic, opinionated guy. I don't consider myself and my stuff news. I interpret what's out there. If you send me something from the Babylon Bee, I will interpret it. Okay, and so do you. And if we're smart, we'll go, oh, that's the Babylon Bee. They're just a joke site. But what social media has done is saying, no, we're going to tell you how to think. And if you think about what's going on right now in the world with Wu flu, turn on your TV and see how many things have COVID this. Look at how clean we are. Were you clean before? How do we live before if now they're spraying everything down and we're all germ free? What were we before? Were we just walking around with germs? Hey, memo to everybody, memo to America. We're still walking around with germs. Look at that. I didn't cough into my elbow. There it was, live and on camera. Kevin Jackson violating the rules. How many people do I have in my? How many people do I have in the house? How many of y'all live in there? I mean, we live in this crazy world where we're now letting people tell us how many people we can have in a house, how many people you can have at parties. Oh, by the way, no weddings, no bar mitzvahs, and then don't go to church. But you know what? If you want to hang out at the strip joint, we're cool. Hey, it's insane. And it's all meant to direct how you feel about things. This stupid election. There is nobody that believes Joe Biden legitimately beat Donald Trump, nor did Joe Biden get 11 million more votes than baby black Jesus Barack Obama in 2008. You'd have to be a moron, a fool, a clown to believe that. But the left, they go, well, you need to believe it. Why? I equated it to this. I said, I was thinking about how would you explain leftism to somebody if they came from another planet, which leftists really do. And I said, I would think of it this way. So you get home from the grocery store, you put your wallet and a $50 bill that's by your wallet down on the countertop as you start putting away groceries. And then your roommate, a leftist, comes in as you're finishing, timed, of course. You're going to put the last item away and he says, hey, you need some help? And you go, nah, I got it. And as you turn to put it away, you see him take your $50 bill. And then you say to him, hey, what happened to my $50 bill? I have no idea what happened to your $50 bill. Did you take it? Did you? And he goes, I don't know. And he goes, I didn't take it. So he actually says, I'll help you look for it. Okay. And he goes and he starts looking around and he's pretending that he's looking for your $50 bill. And you know he has it. And you say, you sure you didn't take it? You didn't? No, I'm telling. Why would I take it? Well, I mean, what do I need? And then he gets defensive. What? You calling me a thief? And then he goes all deranged on you, right? And he wants to kill you, but you go, hey, just settle down, because you don't want to die, because leftists will kill you. Oh, YouTube, don't censor that, because they will. They do it every day, particularly in the Black community. So finally you say, you know what? Don't sweat it. I can track it down because I installed a camera. And he goes, oh, crap. This is the way I see what's happening with Donald Trump right now. He's going, who took my $50 bill? It was my $50 bill. And leftists go, we didn't take it. We didn't take anything. And then when he says, well, look, I'm willing to fight for my, oh, you want to fight over, you think I took, and they get all indignant. And that's where we are. The left wants to be indignant over their thievery. They want to be indignant that you go, why do I have to wear this stupid mask? I'm not sick. This disease doesn't kill anybody. They want to be indignant when you say, did you hear my voice change? They want to be indignant when you talk about weather and they say it's global climate change and it's the biggest existential threat on the planet. Let me tell you something. I'm less worried about dying in an earthquake, a mudslide, a tornado, a flood, or whatever, than I am dying on the south side of Chicago. We're just going to get some chips at a bodega. That's a lot bigger existential threat to Black folks, and that's why they didn't resonate. None of their ideas are resonating, and they're trying to figure it out. How do we make this stuff resonate? You don't. It doesn't resonate. We proved it. We proved that leftism doesn't work. It doesn't work in schools. It doesn't work in business. It doesn't work in just how you deal with people. They say they want you to believe they deal with people better than we do. They're more compassionate, they're more concerned, or whatever. Forget about it. It's all a big lie. Everything from Russian collusion to everything I just described is a perfect definition of leftism. Perfect definition. So I was prepping for stories, and I'm gonna look at some notes here. Let me give you just an idea of what I'll be talking about today on my radio show. So there's a new term for women. I don't know if you guys have heard this, and if you know me, I don't know if obviously if you're watching this, and there's only a few people on, but if you do know me, you know that I got fired for tweeting that the Kavanaugh accusers were lying skanks, and I stand by that tweet. Just FYI, I will not change my mind because that's what they are. And so I was looking at this story, and we're always working on stuff. The left, not us. We conservatives, have to look them up. Okay, so I'm looking this stuff up, and because I got to keep up. So long story short, there's a new term right now for women, two actually. What is it? Birth. Let me tell you what it is. Birthing people and vulvas. What is it? Vulva owners. Birthing people and vulva owners is now the new term for women. So Google it. Don't believe me. Google it, and you'll see that women call themselves now birthing people and vulvas. Why? I mean, I think you could think of a less vulgar word than vulvas. Not that, I'm going to give somebody the lexicon, but if I was going to think of something cute for women, it wouldn't be vulvas or it wouldn't be birthing people. So, but here again, the left has got to play their little games with the lexicon. And so now I'm just going to tell you, we're going to have some new terminology to learn as conservatives, because women can't be used, because we can't be talking about men versus women, because we're no longer a binary society. It's a non-binary society. I'm walking you through the idiocy, the insanity of being a leftist, the world you need to live in if you decide you want to be on that side of the aisle. Okay? The people that genuinely care about other people, and they continually change the things. It's like changing the names from blacks. We were called Negroes and colored people, then Afro-Americans. They named us after our hairstyle. Then we decided we wanted to be black. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. And now we want to be African Americans. And I'm waiting for the next evolution. I don't know, noirettes or something. They'll go back to the roots of the word, or the Ebons. Maybe we'll be called the Ebons. Who knows what black people will evolve to? Because I promise you, there's some silly Negro in America right now trying to figure out, what do we call black people to get conservatives off the, mad? Let's get them upset in the future. Oh, I get it. Let's hate America, and we will make it a dirty word to call blacks African Americans. Yeah, that'll do it. So if you call a person an African American in 5 years, they're gonna go, oh, it's like that. It's like that. You get what I'm saying? That's how silly they are. So now women are birthing, what's it again? Birthing people and vulva owners. Wow. Why? What's wrong with women? Oh, that's right. We're non-binary. We can't separate the world between men and women, but we can separate the world between birthing people and vulva owners. That makes sense. As much sense as it makes, we can't say the N word, but we all know what the N word is. That's the silliness of this country because of leftism. See, Black folks, we still use the word. So that's okay. I mean, I know I'm jumping around here, but I'm making a bigger point. We still use the word that people publicly now say N-word, as if we all don't know what it is. This is stupid. It's stupidity at a level that I can't even fathom. Maybe I'm just too smart for this world. It's like they said about Barack Obama. He's transcendental. He's too good for America at the time. Oh, Lord. Oh man, these live feeds would be just too much fun. I may have to do more of these. But the silliness of trying to be a leftist. Look, hey leftists, let me give you some advice. If you come to the world of conservatism at some point, I promise you, you'll actually enjoy it. We're pretty cool people. We're very accepting. We accept your idiocy. We accept you lunatics, no matter what. We don't really care. We may talk behind your back a little bit like, yeah, well, you know, Fred. But when we see you, we'll go, hey, Fred, what's up? And we'll ask you about your problem. We'll say, you still believing in the Martians? You still believing in them? Yeah, everybody be like, hey, come on, Kev. Don't be talking. And we will joke with you and we will make fun of your malady, whatever it is. If you got a zit, we will call you out for it. Fred, what's up? You going through puberty again at 63? What's up? We will do that. Because we don't care. We don't care about your zit. We don't care about your belief in extraterrestrials. We will accept you and we will love you no matter what. If you want to marry a robot, Fred, it's okay with us. We're going to talk about you, but it's okay. See, this side of the aisle is actually more loving, caring, and forgiving. And by the way, we're not, for the most part, now don't get me started. Conservatives can be, bad, do bad things. But if a person is a true conservative, they're not trying to get your money. They're not trying to get all up in your business. They certainly aren't plotting against you. They're actually for you. With conservative friends, when they want to, if you're going to go do something, let's say you got a raise, a conservative will congratulate you and be very happy. A liberal will congratulate you and be trying to figure out how to get that money from you. That's the difference. So come to this side of the aisle, talk to people over here, leftists, and you know what you're going to find out? You've been lied to. Think about everything I just talked to you about. You run around here bragging about how much you do for charities. I'm looking at this. There's one of my notes for my radio show is the Time's Up charity. You guys heard the Time's Up. Time's Up, Hollywood. Enough taking advantage of these little women that come to your town and give it up on the casting couch so they can get good roles and make millions of dollars. And then when their careers are over, they narc on you. Time's up. And it's funny because the only guy who got crushed in Hollywood is Harvey Weinstein. Do you know who the Me Too movement they've tried to apply it to? Donald Trump. As if Donald Trump over 30 years was doing what Harvey Weinstein was Donald Trump opening his robe and saying, hey, you want to roll? Do your business, girl. No, Harvey Weinstein was, and Hollywood was going to clean itself up. What did they do? Harvey Weinstein. That's it. They pretend to clean it up. So the Time's Up charity, another scam. Raised millions of dollars, didn't give money to victims, but claims the social, high watermark of look at how great we are. Did they clean up their act? No. Hollywood runs the same. The only thing that's going to destroy Hollywood is this Wu flu. And then you want a double standard? Gavin Newsom said in California, the rules of Wu flu don't apply to Hollywood, just like they don't apply to strip clubs, but they apply to churches. You get it? See, that's the logic of leftism. We'll pick and choose who we want to be successful, who we want to play by the rules, and then the rest of you, you can suffer. Let them eat cake. So that's just another example of the nonsense. So leftists, I'm telling you, you are not, despite what people tell you, you are the scum of the earth. I'm just being honest with you. I know tough love. Don't make me skank slap you, but it's tough love. And I'm giving you tough love because what I'm telling you is that on this side of the aisle, you will have a lot more enjoyment. You can be truthful about who you are. You can take that mask off because let me give you the dirty little secret. We already know. We know underneath that you're a skank and you're a scumbag. We know that. So what we're doing is telling you, if we already know, you can fess up. And here's the beauty of it. We will forgive you if you'll stop it. Everything I've pointed to, as I've been talking for 16 minutes now with a very small audience, but I don't care. I love you. When I taught martial arts, one of my students came in because we'd have 30 people in the class. And that particular day we had 3. And it was a holiday and all, the holidays were coming up. And he says to me, Mr. Jackson, he goes, wow, there's nobody here. And I go, yeah, good for you. And he goes, yeah, well, he didn't understand that statement. And anyway, he says, what would you do if nobody, what would you do if nobody showed up? And I said, I'd teach the walls. And he didn't get that either. And what I was saying is there will be a class, whether you're here or not. And see, that's how life works. There's a class, whether you show up for it or not. There's a lesson to be learned, whether you show up for it or not. There's a lesson to be learned, whether you get it or not. And the lessons need to be taught to the left. I was thinking about this. I'm giving you guys some really, just off the cuff stuff, but I was thinking about this today. Like, what is the lesson of this election? You want to know? I'm going to tell you what everybody's going to miss as a lesson of this election as conservatives. If we don't stop the nonsense at its source, we can't win elections. And I'm not talking about the cheating. We know Democrats are going to cheat, and we're going to catch their sorry asses. We've already caught their sorry asses, to be honest with you. And it'll get revealed here in the next couple of weeks. But what I'm saying is, all this stuff that we do, I was thinking about Judicial Watch, asking for freedom of information. Give us more information about Hillary Clinton. They got all this information about Hillary Clinton and what the Clinton Foundation is doing and all this stuff. And is a single Democrat in prison? Is any of the people that we know, or I should say are, I'm going to correct my English before somebody say, that black man said is when he should say are. Anyway, are any of these people in prison? The answer is no. So why not? Okay, we know they're cheaters. We know that they've stacked the deck, and we know it's a 2-tier system, that there's us versus them, and the elitists pick and chooses who wins, who loses, etc. So Hillary Clinton, she's won, even though we know she's guilty. I don't need to walk you through what she did to that server. If you did the stuff that she did and went to court, like let's say you were in a custody battle for your kid, and they wanted your email and you did all that stuff, you'd either be in jail or you'd be paying your ex a lot of money, because that's what would happen. 2-tier justice system. So here's what I was getting at. My organizations, we do something dramatically different than most. We always look at what's the source. We got a movie, a movie site coming out to go after Hollywood. It is the source of problems in America. One of the sources, pop culture. It's influencing pop culture. Why does Supergirl have to be a lesbian? Okay, you get it? We go after education, kids. I saw a video of some girl arguing with her mother, some white girl. Mom, you're racist, and you should accept the idea that there's white guilt, that there's white privilege, and you should have white guilt. And the mother's going, why should I have white guilt? I don't need to have white guilt. She looked around her house. She's a very, lower middle class house. It was no great shakes. I'll put it this way. This black man didn't want to live in that white girl's house. So, but her daughter's telling her mom, single mom, worked her butt off. And her mom says, I paid for everything in here. And I didn't step on any black man's neck or black woman's neck, and yada, yada, yada. So long story short, this girl is pleading with her mom to understand white guilt. And I'm thinking, who's taught these white kids this level of racism? I mean, a white kid would walk up to me and say, sir, I'm so, I can't imagine a white person walking up to me and apologizing for being white. I would go, why did you choose it? In the womb, did you have a checklist? Did God go, okay, here's your checklist. What do you want to be? I think I'll be white. I'm going to choose white. Or like any black person would have in the womb, had God given them that chance when, I know both my parents are black, but I'm going to try white this lifetime. Said no black. Look, I know there's some, probably some people out there that want to be different than who they are. I don't know who it is. I like being me personally. In fact, I love being me. Okay. I love it. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. When I'm me, I just feel so, I feel we're like this, So anyway, the point is this. How big of a clown do you have to be to walk up to somebody and say, hey, I'm so sorry you white. Jeez, man. I wish there was something good. I feel guilty. I feel guilt for your color, man. If you could have this beautiful, like if I walked up to people on the beach, tanning, which I would legitimately have a reason to do. And they were out there, and I go, man, I sure wish you could have this beautiful color all the time. I mean, silly. The idea that some white kid, that there's a generation of children being raised to see me, a successful black man, and go, man, I feel sorry for him. He black, golly. And I've used this analogy a lot. I said, would you want to be in the maternity just imagine a black dude and a white dude in the maternity ward looking at their babies. And the white dude looks over to the black dude and says, dude, I'm sorry, man. And the black guy goes, oh, thank you, man, and gives him a hug. Like, I didn't want a black one. And he starts crying because he didn't want the black baby, his child, the fruit of his loins. And he sympathizes with the white dude who looks over at him and says, man, guy, did you not check the right box, bro? I checked the box, bro. You get what I'm saying? If I was standing in a maternity ward, which I've stood there 4 times looking at my sons, and some white guy said to me, dude, I'm so sorry you got a black one. What? Bail me out. Call my brother because I need to get bailed out. You get what I'm saying? Beat down, coming, because there is no way I'm going to look at my kid and go, oh, God, I can't believe another black one. Honey, we got to try again. This is stupid. But we're raising a bunch of kids to believe that they got to be apologetic for their genetics. Hey, white kids, memo from Kevin to you. You may be good in something. You may have the advantage of having both parents. I don't know. There's a lot of black people raising their kids, despite, the statistics. There are black families who are whole. Maybe you have an advantage because both your parents are professionals and you are getting good tutoring, or you have a mentor or whatever. But let me tell you something many of you don't have. The disadvantage you have. The disadvantage is you don't know life. Sometimes growing up, missing a meal from time to time, not having both parents makes you have a longing. Watching somebody else have something you don't, it might light a fire in you, LeBron. I don't know. You may learn some sort of diligence, or you might be lucky like Tiger Woods and have a father who is plugged in and drives you, or like the Williams sisters who had a father kooky as heck, but he drove his daughters to become the best. Maybe that is going to be your fate. But here's what I'll tell you. There is nothing a white man has or a white person has that a black person can't have or doesn't already have. And it's stupid that we talk about this, but this is the world of leftism. This is where we live now, in a world of stupidity and, class warfare, color warfare, race warfare, etc. When all America does every day, day in and day out, with millions and millions of people, is get along. That's all we do. And you know what else? Prior to Wu Flu, going back to that nonsense, you know what we used to do? We sat in movie theaters. We sat on buses and trains and airplanes, and we went to grocery stores and all that. No mask, not knowing whether you had whatever these diseases are, Pertellus, percussion, reproduction, whatever these diseases are. We sat in rooms not worrying about it because our immune system's built up for it, and we didn't. It's certainly the level of what they call it, the level that this disease is killing us today. It'll be a joke in the 1960s or 70s. Are you kidding? We've gone through lots tougher, but we got to go through this nonsense because leftists are constantly plotting how to get more and more of what you do, and they will never stop. And I'm telling you, think about what's going on right now. They have attacked a rich white billionaire who became president. You think your life matters to them? You think Nancy Pelosi has respect for you? You think Loretta Lynch has respect for you? Bill Clinton, Barack Obama? These are people that will destroy you and not even think 2 seconds about it. Look at what happened to General Flynn, a 3-star general. Not saying, I'm just saying, you want to talk about being ordinary? We're ordinary. So who's going to be the who in Whoville that gets our voices heard? I don't know who it is, but here's what I can tell you. Things like this will allow it. This puts it out there. And no matter, I can tell you about us, we've been shadow banned the whole deal. You know what our team gets up every day and does? We get up every day and we say, no matter what, we're going to be the who from Whoville. Somebody's going to hear a new message and a fresh message, and it'll be from a perspective that you haven't heard from any of the talking heads or the people that have much more social media than we do. The people that just sit around clowning. I mean, look, I love to clown with the best of them, but I want to clown and you have a message underneath it that you can take with you. I guarantee you, if you watch this video, if you go back and play it, you will learn something you didn't know. It'll be profound. That's what we do. We do things that are profound. So let me go back to what I was saying earlier. Everything we attack is how do we stop leftism at its root source, which is sometimes at the family level, certainly at the academic level in Hollywood. How do you get a kid that wants to believe that they suffer from white privilege, that they should have white guilt and every white person around them, when none of those people have harmed any blacks? No blacks were harmed in the making of this country, and they've done nothing, and these people believe it, and they have this racist thought. Now, why did that thought come to me? I watched the Charlie Kirk video where his kid comes up to him and Charlie Kirk was arguing that there is no such thing as white privilege, and he's right. But see, I would have loved to have been there, because it would have been a very different argument when that kid walked up to me and I said, there's no such thing as white privilege. And he comes up and says that you are better than me without me standing up. This is what we would have done in the 60s and the 70s. We'd have got up and whooped your butt. Okay, I'm going to clean it up. We'd have kicked, I already said it, but you know where I'm going. We'd have when somebody said the N-word that wasn't from the hood, you just got up and you fought it out. But we can't do that anymore. So the point is, this kid would come up and I'd say, let me ask you, little white dude, why do you believe that you are better than I am and that you need to come over and explain to me how good you are and how much you're helping me? Let me ask you, did you help Oprah? Tell me the white person that got up every day and helped LeBron James become one of the best basketball players ever. And name any black athlete. Who did it? Did you come and do that for them? The idea that you believe that is inherently racist. And I would be pushing, but I would say it is insulting for you to come over here and say something so stupid to me. And all you white people watching, you all need to understand. Stop insulting black people with this idea that by birthright, by the color of this, you are better than we are. You are not better than we are. You might be a better mechanic, but I might be a better engineer. I don't know what you're good at. See, the problem in America is we don't help people discover what they're good at. We just tell them what they're bad at. Oh, man, you black shoe. Man, get out. Oh, you're not an athlete. You're not an entertainer. Forget about it. You can't be an academic. You can't be a scientist. You can't be a lawyer. You can't be a doctor. You can't be the best guy at street sweeping. Find what you love and do it, and don't worry about what white people or anybody else says. That should be the lesson. But we don't play that. We don't have that lesson. Anyway, look, I've talked a long time live. My first live broadcast for the number of people that showed up. I'm glad you guys were here. We had a whole, 9 people on right now with 6 thumbs up. But here's the deal. lessons are throughout this thing, and I don't know if I can save it or end the stream and play it again, but we'll figure out what to do with it. But I'm going to do more of these, and hopefully, we'll get bigger crowds and things like this, because these are lessons for life. What I try to do is, this isn't about politics for me. I mean, sadly, politics is all over everything that we do. So I can get up today and go, hey, you want to talk about the economy? New Jersey and New York, 30% of small businesses have failed because of this stupid Wu-flu pandemic, scamdemic. Yeah, I want to talk about that. Why would people want to destroy other people's lives? See, that's what liberalism is focused on. And they say it'll be for the greater good. Kevin, you got to break a few eggs and make some omelets. You don't have to break any eggs to make omelets. 30% of the people let me tell you who these people are. They were entrepreneurs. They were people who were thinking for themselves, people who were ready to give America that shot, to pursue the American dream. And you know what the leftists said? You're not going to pursue that dream. We're going to shut you down. See, you're the free thinkers. We want you to have to go back and depend on somebody else's paycheck. That's what they want. There's a movie where they separate the people that will not succumb. I forget the name of it. That Headley chick is in it, but they will not succumb, and they're called the divergence. That's what it is. And they take them out and they shoot them. We are the divergence, conservatives. And let me tell you, don't believe for a second that I'm overstating this. There are Democrats who would love to see us gone. And I don't mean on another island like Elba. I'm talking about gone, as in under terra firma. They hate us. They hate us because we think differently. I went back and looked at it. I know I'm going to close. I got to get to work. But I went back and looked at an interview, a spanking, when I was on Fox that I gave to Richard Fowler. And Richard was talking about black. I said, all Richard talks about is black. And I interrupted him. And he said something about, well, yeah, because you ain't black. And I'm thinking, this little pansy ass that has the nerve to say to me that I'm not black because of the way I think. See, let me tell you what I would have said to Richard had I not been on TV. I would have said, you got some nerve, you little sissy boy. You know where I grew up, we'd have whooped your little ass every day. That's what we would have done, because you're a punk. And you want to talk about being black? You want to see me go ethnocentrically black on you, Richard Fowler? Get out of this studio and watch what these fists and these feet do to you for accusing me of not being black. I got a black mother and a black father. My black father was in prison. My mother died when I was young, and I was raised by my grandparents. Had to get adopted by them to get out of the system. I used to wear shoes to such a degree I had to cut the fronts off because we couldn't afford to get me new shoes. I know the black condition. There is nothing you're going to say that's not going to make me as black. And the fact that you're the embarrassment to black people. When I was growing up, you little sissy boy with your bow tie, you would not be considered black in my book. Now, as silly as you look, I understand there are black people as stupid as you that look like you. We accept you. But the idea that I'm not black because I got a different way of thinking about our culture, that's a butt whooping coming for you. Now, see, that's what I would have said to Richard had I not had a contract with Fox. But that's what I think about these clowns. Oh, you ain't black because what? You did, as Joe Biden would say, you didn't vote for him. Well, there's a lot of people that prove they ain't black because they didn't vote for him. A lot of blacks. This election was the biggest election post Eisenhower of the black vote shifting to the Republicans. And people know the Democrats can't win without the black vote, but they miraculously did, right? Wrong, because they didn't. So all of this, folks, I can't think of what I'm saying, but the idea of everything that's happening in the world today is a lie. It is an illusion. Everything they want you to believe, global climate change, the Wu-flu all these things are all a delusion. The idea that racism is rampant and we've got to have Black Lives Matter because black people are being oppressed and all these other things are an illusion. And it's them trying to sway us into thinking that we're, something that we're not. And if you buy into that illusion, which is a delusion, shame on you. You have to confront it. And I would tell you, I grew up in a martial arts environment. I got 4 black belts. Man, you grew up with white privilege and you should have some white guilt. He'd say, I'll show you some white guilt. And he'd take you outside and he would absolutely thump your head. And he didn't care. He didn't care how big you were and how black you were, Miles Davis. He would whoop your butt. And I love those white boys because when you go to train, it wasn't about white or black. That's what I love about sports. I love that it's typically, it used to be a meritocracy, and you were immune from all the nonsense of the left. You're not anymore. So what I'm telling you, white folks, and whoever else is looking, we're up to 13. Good for you guys coming in. Get out there and fight for your rights. Oh, Kevin, I wish I could say things you say, but I ain't black. Well, I said stuff about women that got me fired from Fox, and I ain't a woman, at least not most of the time. So if I can go out and type and tweet about lying skanks, get a phone call from Fox that says take it back, tell Fox go screw yourselves and get fired, you can certainly stand up for your rights. Right now, I would say to every conservative, every person that voted for Donald Trump, if you are not willing now to when somebody talks about this, to say, you know, Donald Trump was robbed. You people, if you want to celebrate a cheat, you can't, but you know your sorry ass didn't vote for Joe Biden, and neither did 80 million people. If you can't stand up and say that, give the country away. Because I'm telling you, and going in from the moment of the cheat, and I think Trump's going to get elected. For those of you who are, I mean, he's going to get reconfirmed because he's going to fight to the death, just like I would. But going forward, if you don't confront every liberal and say you are a lying skank, if you think you're going to get people to believe that Joe Biden got 11 million more people than baby black Jesus, you're a liar, and you know it's not true. So don't pretend. Democrat, go look at the primary numbers for Joe Biden and tell me that clown had everybody's loving Biden. And then, of course, the next part is, well, it was a vote against Trump. That's a lie. Trump probably got 20 million more votes. And we know he got 11 million more than he did in 2016. He probably got 20 million more. You're going to tell me those 20 million people is a vote against Trump? The vote was against Biden and against leftism and socialism. The vote was for Trump. The mandate is ours. People want border protection. They want somebody that's going to be tough on trade, that puts America first, that takes color and critical race theory out of government, out of schools, out of capitalism, out of jobs and what have you. They want somebody that's pro-jobs, that's going to bring jobs back. And Trump was knocked it out of the park at all levels. And that's why so many of us supported him and continue to. So you got to carry that torch, and you can't be intimidated by people that are like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. We got a mandate. There was a mandate. It was our mandate. So listen, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm going to do these. By the way, go look at the KEV Talks, subscribe and like this and get us over the hump, because I just got back on YouTube about a month and a half ago. We got, I don't know, less than 2,000 people, but we got to get this thing into the couple of million quick. So I'm relying on you guys to spread the word, let people know. Look at the stuff that my team does and compare it to anybody else. And by the way, I take nothing from anybody. I love that there's so many people out there doing great things. My good buddy Brandon Tatum, awesome. And Brandon works closely with Candace Owens, and she's doing, what she does. I don't follow Candace's work that closely, but I'm sure it's really good stuff. And there are many other people, Larry Elder, et cetera. And not just black folks, people in general. Steven Crowder got 5 million people on YouTube. What an audience, larger than Fox News. I call them Fox News. So that's what we've got to build. And we've got to get, people that are willing to speak the truth into the limelight. And for whatever reason, these clowns won't let me grow. I think they're more afraid of me than they are the Wu flu. But for whatever reason, they won't let me grow. But you guys can do it. We can change the paradigm. So let's do that. Let's do this. Thanks for listening, guys. I don't even know how to stop it.